with them. And then they didn't realize it was him blessing them. So in the same way, God blesses us in many loves that we don't always realize it's him doing it. When someone encourages you in the Lord, and it is of God, it's God encouraging you. When I was in the airport heading to Dallas, I had to make a decision in Dallas concerning the manuscript of the Harbinger. And God had that man happening to be there at that moment and speak, and it was God speaking and stopping me from doing something else, so that he could do it. That was God totally. That's a manifestation of his love when he stops you from doing a mistake. Has God stopped you from doing that? Has God ever stopped you, had somebody interject? Well, that's God's love. When someone comforts you, and it was definitely, hey, this is the Lord, that was God comforting you. That's the loves of God. When somebody encourages you, when somebody corrects you, and it was God, it's the loves of God. When you're feeling so far from God and something happens and it's just a sudden encouragement and that was God, that's the loves of God. When things work together for good in your life, something happens, that's the loves of God. When God answers a prayer, that's the loves of God. Your loves are better than wine. At one point, the prophet is given a vision of heaven and of the throne of God, and he sees God, and he sees like a rainbow display of colors. And that you could see that as a type of God, in that the rainbow has all the colors of the spectrum. It's white light. It's all one, but it's many. And so in the same way, God's love is reflected and comes to us in all sorts of ways. And we got to realize it, God in it, and give thanks. There's every good thing, it says, comes from our Father above. He loves us as a father loves a child. That's one kind of his love. But he also loves us as a bridegroom loves his bride. That's another type. God loves us in a way that is as a shepherd, gentle, nurturing. He also loves us when he corrects us. It's also the love of God. We have to give thanks to God for his correction. Because thank God, you ever been corrected and instead of feeling down, you feel good because it shows you are a child of God. Lord, thank you for correcting me. He loves us. It says he loves us in the prophets. He'll be quiet over us in love. And then it says he shouts over us. He loves us. He's even, a parent and child is also playful. He also undoubtedly is playful with us. He takes delight in us. Your loves are better than wine. What does that mean? The word in Hebrew for that mystery word love, which is really loves, is Dodekha. Try it. Dodekha is your loves in Hebrew. And they call this the Dodekha Mystery today. I changed it because of the day. You remember when they were in the wilderness and the manna came down from heaven? And the reason why, remember why, we say manna, it's a really nice word, but in Hebrew it's not manna bread. It's mana, which is a question. Ma means what, and na means is this. What is this? They said, what is this? So God said, that's what it's going to be called. It's going to be called, what is this? And that's exactly what manna is. It's not manna, it's mana. What is this? Every day they had to eat, what is this? Except on the Sabbath when they could save it. That's it. But they could not save that manna for the rest of the day. They couldn't store up the manna on Monday for the week. Couldn't do that. Couldn't gather more. Couldn't have a storehouse of manna. And what's that telling us? It's telling us that you cannot store the word or love of God. Meaning, it's for every day you need to be filled up. You can't store it up and say, I received it back then. It says his mercies are new every morning. And that means that you have to, like manna, fill up on his love every day. His loves are better. In other words, every day there is a new love coming down. And every day you have to receive that newly every day. It's like manna. You cannot put it in a freezer. You can't put it in a bread box. You can't freeze dry it for later. You have to have it continuously every day. You can't go on past love. You can't say, you can thank God for something, that's fine. But you can't go on the fact that I've known God. You could have known God for 60 years and still that's something. What are you doing today is what matters. The fact that you did love him doesn't mean, and you did know him, you have to know him today. And newly today. It doesn't matter what else, just as the new believer, same for the old believer, same thing. Because his loves are new every day. His mercies are new every morning. You can't go on a past record. You got to receive now. Even the debate over losing your salvation or eternal security often misses the point biblically. And that's why you don't see that debate in the Bible. Can you be secure in God? Yes. But not because you once prayed a prayer. And therefore you're trusting in the fact that you once prayed a prayer. If your trust, it's very simple. Trusting in the Lord's love now, and it's going to keep you, period. Trust in the grace of God now, and it's going to keep you. But if you say, I don't want to trust in it, well, I don't know what to say about that. If you're not trusting, it doesn't matter what you did. Yesterday's love was for yesterday. Today's love is for today. Today's love, he is new. The Lord is new every day. He is new, and he's the one who makes things new. His love is not a summer repeat. His love is never old. There's no record. Paul didn't go on his record. Paul said, I've all these things. He said, but I forget all that. I am now pressing forward. Even though Paul was the greatest apostle, he said, I'm pressing forward to know. I forget what's behind. I press forward to what's ahead. There is a new love. There's a new love for today. There's the way that you have to know God now today. There's no day that goes by where there's not manna for that day. There's not love for that day. There's not knowing God for that day. So you can't skip a day. That's the whole point. There's a new love for today. There's a new love for this hour and for this moment. The past is singular. The word would be singular. But the word for love here is plural. The past cannot contain his love. You have to receive it now. The past is gone, and God is here today. There is a love that is appointed for today. Everything that you've known in the past is gone. In some way it's past, but God is not past. And so the point is, you don't just receive God's love once, you receive it every day, because his loves are there. Another mystery here.